Hi.
Hi.
How's-
I didn't know you were here.
Welcome everybody to Adams Polish's Wednesday live video. We have this brand new, almost 1 year old Tundra. But this car we actually featured in a live video about seven to 8 months ago. And in that video, we ceramic coated it. It was a new car at the time. And so we ceramic coated the car, and now we're 7 to 8 months later, and this car has never been had like a ceramic coating maintenance to it. So we've done videos about ceramic coating maintenance before, but what we wanted to do today is do a video about what the coating is telling us what it needs. Okay, so ceramic coating doesn't exactly come in all shapes and sizes. Okay, there's not one overarching process or product that everybody needs. I think that's one of the questions we get a lot is like, what's your best ceramic coating maintenance product? We can't answer that because we don't know the condition of the car, how much it gets driven, does it sit outside all the time? You know, a lot of those questions determine what you need to do, but realistically, you can find that out really quickly when you spray water on the car. So today in this live video, we're gonna talk about that. We'll spray a section of the car, we'll get an understanding of where we need to start. Do we need to do just a standard 2-bucket wash with car shampoo or mega foam, or do we need to use graphene shampoo? So each step of the way, what I want you guys to be paying attention to is, you know, see the water behavior, understand what you need to do after you see that water behavior, and each step of the way, you'll get an understanding of what the ceramic coating needs. Now, you know, realize that if this is your car and you go through this kind of same process that I'm gonna do, if you spray the car and the water's flat, and then you wash it with graphene shampoo and then you rinse it off, and now the water's beating like crazy again, you don't need to do the steps after that. You can be done, you can just dry it and be done with it, okay? So ceramic coating maintenance doesn't need to be this long drawn out process. Sometimes it has to be because of the condition of the ceramic coating or maybe the weather you drove in. But what you need to understand is, okay, what does my ceramic coating on my car need? And the ceramic coating is the thing that's gonna tell us what it needs. So in this video, you'll be able to see kind of how that works. And I'll talk about the different products we can use and, you know, different processes that are required to keep your ceramic coating working really well. So now remember, live video, this is kind of like your insider access to us. So questions are definitely, we want to hear the questions that you have. Just put them in the live comments here, and we'll address the questions the best we absolutely can. So, you know, this is probably your best place or best setting to get direct answers from us when it comes to, you know, ceramic coating maintenance or even just standard detailing questions. Anything about Adams polishes, I can answer anything that you guys need. So, you know, thank you guys for hanging out and watching. And, you know, for anybody that's new to this, we do this every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. So, you know, set on your calendars. Make sure to subscribe. If you subscribe to our channel, it gives you notifications on YouTube when we are live or when we release a new video. So making sure you subscribe, like the video to help boost it so other people have access to it and see it. So like and subscribe, you know, share it if there's other people that you know that are you're friends with that like doing detailing at home, like DIY stuff. These live videos are intended to help, not just to entertain. So I know it's entertaining to watch me work while everybody else is hanging out. But by the way, this is my dad, Ed. If you ever see Ed Triguero on the live video comments, now you have a face to a name. So when he's heckling me in the comments, now you know. That's why I just roll my eyes, you know. But
Fishy asked, why would you use the regular graphene coating versus the advanced formula as you're kind of getting yourself set up?
yeah, that's a good question. So Fishy asked, why would you use the regular coating versus the advanced coating? You know, I think it just sort of depends. You know, the original coating was the first one we came out with, and it's intended to kind of be a 5 to 7 year coating. it depends on where you live if it's going to really last that long. If you take care of it consistently, it absolutely will last that long. But I would say, it just depends on, if you really want the absolute most concentrated, best ceramic coating we offer, the advanced formula is that product. But the higher the concentration level of raw material of the ceramic and reduced graphene oxide, it's a little bit harder to work with. So if you're kind of new to it, or you're worried about getting high spots and things like that, then I would say the original graphene ceramic coating is a little bit easier to use. So you don't get as many high spots with that. It's easier to fix them. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. Now, if you're somebody that put on a ceramic coating before, you have some experience with that, so you kind of understand the process, then the advanced formula might be easy for you to use because you just understand all of that. So I think for me, like personally, I would probably end up doing the original coating. I like to use the spray coating, to be honest with you, quite a bit. But I do this all the time. So I like my car care to be easy. I don't like to have to fight with it. I like always making steps forward in progress. So I don't want to have to put a ceramic coating on and then go back and fix high spots. So the 5 to 7 year is a little bit more appealing to me because I want to do one step at a time, and then when I get to the finish line, I don't have to go back. I'm just done with it and I can move on. And a 5 to 7 year coating is like more than enough protection for me throughout the years, because I actually like to touch my car more. It gives me like anxiety to not do a process on my car at least every 6 months. So that's partially why I like to do the spray coating, because I know like every 6 months I'm adding protection to my car. And in Colorado specifically, we have harsh weather here. It was hailing yesterday, thunderstorms. So you get rain throughout the whole summer, and then you get snow throughout the whole winter. So, I want to make sure that before I go into winter, my car is protected. Then when I come out of winter going into summer, I have a fresh layer of ceramic going into summer because it rains a lot. So that's why I tend to use the advanced spray coating, because this is a coating that's rated to last 2 years. And so if I'm reapplying this or redoing this every 6 to 8 months, I don't need it to last a full 2 years, and
re-upping it.
Yeah, like
When it comes to
re-upping
that
it.
longevity,
Yeah.
it's actually about how much your car is being.
Yeah, it's how much
there's
your
so
car
many
is being
aspects
like
about the
careful.
longevity, but it's really how much you're touching your car.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
we
I
can
think
talk about
the
that
thing to understand too is like ceramic coatings, there's not like this general time frame of how long it lasts. 1,000% depends on how much you drive your car. Does it sit outside? Is it exposed to harsh weather? So taking those things into consideration, kind of depends on which option you should choose. So again, like personally myself, I like this because I do like performing a longer car care process. And my thing about, and this doesn't exactly help me to sell you the graphene ceramic coating advanced, but the thing that the longevity does not tell you is the appearance of your car after 6 months to a year. So yes, ceramic coating may be on the car, but you might have swirl marks inside that ceramic coating based on how much you touch your car. So for me, it's not as much about how long it lasts, it's about what my car looks like. So I know for me, every about 6 to 8 months, I do a one-step polish on my car because I want the glossiness of my car to be there, and then I put the coating on top of that. So, if I'm going to be polishing my car anyways, there's no reason to put this 9-year ceramic coating on the car, So, there's advantages to it, but, I think it's very much the ceramic coating you choose is a personal preference, and that choice should be based on your lifestyle and how much you want to care for your car. So, and just so you guys know, the graphene ceramic coating advanced, the little bottle of advanced coating in the gold label is our #1 selling product. So it just gives you an idea of like what people are doing to their car. And, it could be because people at home are doing it. It also could be because a lot of professionals like that coating because it withstands a lot of wear versus like, other ceramic coatings that might not be as durable as our coating. So very much a personal choice, but I think the things you have to consider is, you know, how much do you touch your car? Like how much do you care for your car? And are you going to polish it, you know, once a year or twice a year? In that case, you know, I think having the spray coating is a good option. But also, the spray coating I love so much because I actually use it down in here. I spray down my suspension, you know, on the grill, like this, the grill on this car. It's a lot easier for me, especially like this honeycomb right here. It's easier to just spray it in there than it is to try to like fit an applicator into every single thing. So, you know, the spray coating for me has other advantages than just how long it lasts. You know, it's a little bit easier to use for me. So,
And then that just leads right into what the video.
yeah, and so this video is more of like the maintenance side of things. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray down this rear driver's door, and we're gonna see, because again, this was ceramic coated about 8 months ago. Okay, so, and if you want to see how I did it on this car specifically, you can go back in our live video tab on our YouTube channel and scroll down, and you can see when I actually applied the ceramic coating to this car. So, so we'll spray this down. We'll see what it needs. This car hasn't been washed yet, so I know that I need to wash it. So essentially, the way this works is I'll spray this down. When I see what the water behavior is doing, that indicates to me which route I'm going to go. So I'm either going to be using graphene shampoo, or I'll use a mixture of the car shampoo and mega foam together. Okay, so that's kind of what the coating's going to tell me which choice I make. Yep.
Yeah, that's what you said. I'm nearing the 6-month mark on my coating, wondering how much more I need to do to refresh. And you want to just tell them this is.
Yeah. So my question, I'm going to answer that with a question. So Fishy, my question to you is, what ceramic coating is on your car? Okay, so once you tell me that, then it will be a lot easier for me to answer that. But I will tell you this, Fishy, what I'm going to do today is what you should be doing. Okay, so you should first initially rent your car.
Or find out from this.
You should almost do exactly what I'm going to do. Like this process of what I'm going to do is exactly the maintenance thing that Fishy should be doing, because it's not of what product you need or process. It's what the coating's going to tell you what it needs. Okay, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So
use the advanced coating.
Use the advanced. So this is perfect. That's what's on this car. So Fishy, for you, this is a great video for you to understand what maintenance process and product you need. So let's start with rinsing this door. And I'm not too worried about the glass right now, but I'm going to rinse the glass and this door, and we're going to see the water behavior. So you guys have all seen the footage of what our ceramic coating does when it's freshly applied. I mean, it beads water like you've never seen. I mean, the water will not stick to the surface. So let's see. So just by doing this door, there's clearly something on here, okay? And I know here in Colorado it rained recently, so just from this initial spray, this is telling me that I need to use graphene shampoo, because there's probably more stuff happening to this, but realistically there's probably road oil or like a road film on here that I need to address first, number one. So the first thing I absolutely am going to do is I need to wash this car with graphene shampoo. So let's get the water inside of the foam cannon. And just so you guys know, and especially for Fishy, follow along with this video, but I'm actually, right before this, we shot essentially the same video on the good camera. We're gonna edit it together and release it on YouTube, and we did it on the other side of this car. So, so just for you, Fishy, that's gonna be a great video for you to reference when it comes to maintaining the ceramic coating on your car. So put the water inside the foam cannon, graphene shampoo. I like to give it 3 to 4 squeezes. And in this case, I'm gonna do 4, just like that. Close this, we'll put the top on. Shake it up a little bit. Okay. And then I'll take the graphene shampoo. When you're washing a car, you want to put the soap onto the wash pad. So just like that, a little bit into the bucket.
And for people that maybe know, why do you have 2 buckets?
Yeah, so 2 buckets, okay? 2 bucket, there's this thing called the 2 bucket wash system, okay? 2 bucket wash system essentially is the safest way to wash your car without introducing damage. So introducing scratching and things like that. It gives you the ability to remove loose dirt and grime from your wash pad while you're washing, making sure that every time you touch your car, you're using fresh soap with not a bunch of grit and grime inside of your wash pad. So, in this bucket, you can't tell right now, but it essentially had clean water in it. Right now, there's some suds on the top because I already washed the other side of the car.
And then there's something in the bottom of it too.
Yep, and then in the bottom, in the bottom of both buckets, I have a grate like this. This is like the secret to safe washing. Okay, I'll show it to you here in a second, but essentially we're gonna rub the wash pad against this to let the dirt and grime fall to the bottom. So we always have a fresh wash pad while we're doing this process. So listen, this 2 bucket wash system is not specific to a product, okay? The process is the routine of which you wash your car, and then the different variables you use is different soaps to perform different tasks on the car. So if I was gonna wash this car just standard wash with car shampoo, I would still do a 2 bucket wash. I would have just put this in the foam cannon and this onto the wash pad instead of graphene shampoo. But because I imagine there's some road film on here, I'm gonna use the degreasing properties of graphene shampoo to remove that road film from this car. So once we have that stuff set up, I can go ahead and start rinsing the rest of the car. And again, you're gonna notice that like on different portions of the car, like right here is really flat, right here is not, okay? So that could mean that there's more road film on this door than there is on this door, you know, but the water beading isn't as pronounced on here. You can see it's still kind of hanging out on here. So I know that there's something on there, whether it's road film or it's bonded contamination, like bonded contaminations like paint overspray or tree sap. Yeah, hey, my mom's on there. Hey, Mom. Say hi to Pop. And just so everybody knows on the live, I've already went ahead and cleaned the wheels and tires, and I used wheel and tire cleaner, so. So for time's sake, I'm just gonna worry about this half of the car. I already did the other half, but I'll just worry about this half right now.
That KBS, does it matter if there's CS3 coated before using graphene spray coating? Basically, I think if there's CS3 on the card and you're using.
Yeah, I mean, I think realistically, like you want to be putting the graphene ceramic coating or graphene ceramic spray coating onto a naked finish. So, you know, I think it's okay if CS3 is on there because it has reduced graphene oxide in that formula. Then your spray coating is going to adhere to that. So, if anything, what I would say is maybe like start with strip wash to try to get some of that off there, and then put the coating on. But you know, if you don't have strip wash, I think you're totally fine. It's not that big of a deal. And same goes if you have if your car had already been ceramic coated by a different brand or company, you can coat right on top of that. So you don't get too caught up with like trying to remove everything to get the coating on there. You just want, essentially, before you coat your car, you want to be fine with the appearance of it. So if you have a bunch of swirl marks on it and you're fine with that, and you want the water behavior is more what you want, then just coat straight over the swirl marks, you know. But If you don't want the swirl marks and you want like a nice glossy finish, then you should probably at least do a one-step polish on the car before you coat it. So, so there you go. So now we need to foam the car down, okay? So graphene shampoo inside of the foam cannon. Heads up, Elin.
Marco, can I use graphene shampoo on a car whose clear coat has completely deteriorated in some
Yeah, you can use graphene shampoo on any car. It's just more of a, it's a car shampoo. Like when we developed graphene shampoo, it wasn't as much to add protection to the car because, you know, when you add a silica or a protection agent to a car soap, it eliminates its ability to foam. Okay, so what they did with graphene shampoo when we developed it, we tried to put protective properties in it, and it didn't perform like this. It didn't perform how we wanted. Okay, so what we did is our chemist Chris, he added a couple extra surfactants, which is just a fancy word for soap, but surfactants essentially like grab onto dirt and grime, pull it away from the surface, and then when water hits it, it takes the dirt with it. He also added some degreasing properties to it. So what we're noticing with ceramic coatings is that because they don't reject oil, you get road oil after it rains or snows and it gets on your car, and that's what makes it look flat. Okay, so the graphene shampoo essentially is a soap that declogs your ceramic coating from a road film on it. And so that's the purpose of that product. It's not to add protection, it's to remove anything on top of the ceramic coating to bring back the hydrophobic properties. So if anything, graphene shampoo is a great soap for any car because it has a little bit of extra cleaning power to it. But your standard car shampoo is a great soap because it has really high lubrication properties. So the car shampoo really helps you wash a car without introducing damage to it. So both do a really effective job, but the graphene shampoo is a little bit more specialized in the deep cleaning aspect of car care. So I hope that explains that a little bit better. So just take the pressure washer, blast it into the bucket, and now we get into the washing part. So I just have the one wash pad here. So we have the suds in here. And now what I'm gonna do is wash the car panel by panel. I think Anton's picking up extremely expensive golf clubs right now.
Did you guys do a reformulation on the graphene hydration? It showed up and is now gray rather than tan color.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So somebody asked, did we do a reformulation on the graphene tire dressing because theirs showed up more gray than it did of the tan color. I know we didn't change the formula, but I will say this, the one thing that is the most unstable in all of our formulas are the dyes that go in. So oftentimes maybe that gray dye that comes in it will react with the silicone or whatever is in there.
Especially when the colors are so, like a gray to a tan is such a close color.
Yeah.
That it could be.
But essentially the dye will shift in color when it's reacting to, a portion of the formula. And so generally like the color of the product doesn't determine its effectiveness. And, I think for consumers like you guys, it can be a little bit unsettling when it shows up a different color, because then you're like, oh, they changed it. We didn't change it. It's just the unstableness of the dye in the formulas. It's happening with our detail spray right now. There was like a big thread on our Facebook community forum where the detail spray was showing up more of a light pink than it was like that kind of more rich, darker pink. And what happened was our demand for our product is growing, especially with going into brick and mortar, like we're in Walmart, Advanced Auto Parts, and AutoZone. And what happened is, I probably can't talk about this, but the demand for the silicone in there shot up because we needed to produce more of the product. And so the supplier that we were utilizing for that portion of the formula of detail spray couldn't keep up with our demand. So what we have to do is then go look for a different silicone supplier that can keep up with our demand. So that's what we did. So we changed our silicone supplier, and the construction of that silicone, or the silicone that they're putting in our detail spray now, is a little bit different than before. It performs the exact same, but it's making the dye unstable in it. So if your detail spray shows up maybe a shift in the pink color, it doesn't mean it's different. I mean, I guess it means it's different a little bit, but it's still going to perform the exact same as before. But the dye in it is kind of it has a bad relationship with the silicone, I guess you could say. So it's more of like our detail spray is like a mood ring, shifts colors based on how good your day is,
Marco, that Clearcoat question, is it safe for exposed bare paint?
Yeah. Marco had another question on the graphene shampoo, if it's safe on bare paint or non-clear coated paint. The answer is yes. It's safe on, the graphene shampoo is safe on pretty much anything. I couldn't even tell you something it's not safe on.
Well, maybe not your hair.
Oh, you could use it with your hair.
Oh.
No, don't use it with your hair. Benefit to graphene shampoo in the sunlight.
Or maybe the car shampoo in the microphone kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, any of the soaps, any of Adams Polish's car soap is safe to use in the direct sunlight. So what all of our car soaps do is they're pH neutral. So they're pH 7, and they neutralize the water. So essentially what that means is the surfactants inside the soap grab onto the minerals inside the water and hold on to them. So even if the soap dries on the car like this, it doesn't cause water spots because the surfactants are holding on to the minerals. So it's actually more safe to have the soap on your car than it is to have hard water on your car. And so every single one of our car shampoos or car soaps does that. So and it's designed that way because, listen, we know that 99.999% of people wash outside. There's very rare cases where maybe a detail shop has a drain inside their shop or someone's house and you're washing inside, but majority of people are washing outside. So we designed the soap that way so you don't get soap stains or you don't get hard water while you're washing your car. So I washed a lot of the car, but what I want to show you is once you've gone through, once you've gone through a few panels of the car washing and your wash pad starts to get loose dirt and grime on it, you put this to the bottom of the bucket and you rub it against the grate like this. So you can see as you rub it, it agitates the surface of the wash pad and the loose dirt and grime will fall underneath the grate to the bottom of the bucket, and these fins right here prevent the water from swirling and coming back up into your wash pad. So you leave the grate in the bucket like this and you push it down and you rub it against the grate, flip it over, rub it against the grate, wring it out.
And what, you have that ringed out? Which wash pad is it?
This is just your standard 10-inch wash pad.
Cool.
And then if you have, sometimes you'll get like some stuff that's in the wash pad, I like to look at it before I put it back into here. I'll put it in here, rub it against this grate, which is now the soapy water. And now I'm getting the graphene shampoo soap mixture in my wash pad again. And then I just go back to washing the vehicle. How you doing, man? Good. Man, my dad's been here since like 9:15 this morning, and all he gets is comments about how cool this color is. And this is like one of the best Toyota colors. Lunar Rock.
Is that what it's called?
It's called Lunar Rock, yeah. So this color on this car is otherworldly. How's that for your dad joke of the day?
Whose truck is this? You just joined in.
Oh, this is my dad's truck. He actually is usually on the live here every week, but the reason why we're using this truck for this ceramic coating maintenance video is because we actually ceramic coated this with the Graphene Ceramic Coating Advanced, like the super concentrated formula. And so we did it on the live about 7 months ago. And so it's just a great opportunity to talk to you guys about what this car needs. You know, so what we were talking about in the beginning of this is ceramic coating maintenance isn't like this overarching process or product you need. It's not like one product that you need. It's more of what the coating is telling us what it needs. So when we initially rinsed this car off with water, it was really flat in certain areas. So that's an indication for me that I need to use graphene shampoo instead of regular car soap or regular car shampoo, because I need the degreasing properties to remove the road film off of this, okay? So we've gone ahead and already washed the car with graphene shampoo, and now what we're gonna do is we'll start rinsing this again. And I'm not even gonna rinse the whole car. I'm just gonna rinse the same spot that we saw that was very flat. And we'll see the water behavior that's happening, and then it will be the next indicator as to the next thing we go to. So we'll rinse this off again. So the hydrophobic properties are starting to come back. And like I said, the reason why it's doing this, before, if you just joined, this was perfectly flat. Like there was no water beading whatsoever. And so now when I spray it, now you see the water beading start to reveal itself, because now I have the road film off of this. If I use car shampoo, this would still be flat because it's not gonna remove the road oil that's on this car, okay? So graphene shampoo allows it to, I think what some people would say, even like Pan the organizer was talking about this, but you're sort of like unclogging the pores of the ceramic coating. But realistically, what you're doing is taking the road film or the oil, because essentially the way that the oil gets on your car is, if you look at every car, either your exhaust pipes come straight out or they point at the ground. Okay, they never point up. Some of them point to the side, but realistically it's kind of straight out. But what happens is everyone's exhaust is going into the air, going onto the ground, or it's being beaten into the ground. Okay, so on a day like today, just exhaust, exhaust, exhaust. That's oil residue hitting the ground. Then what happens is, like at 3 o'clock every single day in Colorado in the summer, the rain comes over. It hits the ground, it gets mixed up with all that oil residue or exhaust residue. And then when you drive, it kicks it up onto your car, and now you have road film or road oil all over your car, in which when you spray it, it's flat because the ceramic coating is not I think it's omniphobic is the way that you would say that, but it doesn't reject oil. It only rejects water. That's why it's hydrophobic. So using the graphene shampoo allows it to bring it back to the water behavior happening just like this, okay? And just so everybody knows, like I know the situation of how this car lives, okay? So this car, when my dad parks it in the driveway, there's a big tree right to the right of that car. And so this side of the car is not exposed to that tree. The other side absolutely is. So in springtime, when the trees are blooming and everything, a lot of tree sap comes off that car in like almost like mist form. Have you ever seen that before? Yeah, so it's like mist form. So the whole side of that car is just being misted by tree sap. The whole top portion of the car is being misted by tree sap. This side is not. It's more protected. The tree sap's coming over it and landing over here. So just by washing it with graphene shampoo brought back the hydrophobic properties, but it's not quite as pronounced as I want it to be. So I'm gonna rinse the rest of this car and then we'll move into the next step. And I think for me, the next step would be doing a maintenance clay on this car. So what you'll notice now is that as I rinse this off, a lot of the hydrophobic properties are gonna be coming back, like reinstated almost. So like I know the ceramic coating is still there very much, so like this, but I bet when I get to this hood right here, it's gonna be super flat. So when I rinse this part, see how flat it still is? It's not beating like the side of the car. See how flat that is? And it kind of sheets up and then it starts to fall off the car. The reason why it's doing the tree sap in my dad's front yard is just peppering this thing with, or the tree is just peppering this thing with tree sap. So that's why I know for sure, 100%, I need to do a maintenance clay on this car. And a clay process absolutely will not remove a ceramic coating. So doing a maintenance clay, especially like with the clay mitt, is a very safe way to remove bonded contamination without scratching. So yeah, oh, I hope so. Somebody asked if I'm going to be in Carlisle this year, Carlisle, Pennsylvania, which is a legendary car show venue. And last year I went to an event called Corvettes at Carlisle. I absolutely, my goal this year is to go to Ford Nationals because I want to see a lot of those classic Fords. My dad owns a 1935 Ford, and I love that era of Ford. You know, just the originator of car manufacture in America. But I really want to go to Ford Nationals this year, and then.
Next weekend.
Is it?
Yeah, Dan said Joe won't be at Ford Nationals.
I definitely am not going to be there. But I'll probably end up going to Corvettes at Carlisle because you know, that's one of the biggest events there in Carlisle. So last year was my first time going. I loved it there. It was such a good experience. All the patrons, all the people that attended were just so nice. You know, and we have a pretty good like history as Adams Polishes of going to that event. So you know, it's really fun to be around, you know, a group of people that's so passionate about our product. You know, it's a lot of people that have been using Adams Polishes for a long time. Now, one thing I want to show you, I haven't rinsed this off, but a lot of dry soap on here. Still some that's drying right here, but a lot of this is dried soap here. And the really cool thing about a premium car shampoo is if Elin stands there, and when I start to rinse this off, you'll see the suds almost reactivate, and it rinses off perfect every single time. So you can see as the water hits it, the suds almost like reactivate, and then it rinses off perfect every single time. So having a high quality car soap, like really any of the soaps we offer, is key to making your washing process a lot easier. Gosh, this side is like, that's such a crazy thing to think about when it comes to ceramic coating maintenance, is like the other side of the car, the water behavior was completely flat after I used the graphene shampoo. And that's because it had a lot of bottom contamination on it. And so it's really cool to see this side. You know, this side doesn't require as much of the boosting and ceramic coating maintenance that the other side required. So, and that's part of what I wanted to talk about today is, you know, the ceramic coating is going to tell you what it needs, you know, and in this case, on this side of the car, really all it needed was the graphene shampoo. I'm still going to do a maintenance clay because the hood really needs it. And I think because this probably hasn't been clayed since I touched it last, which was 7 months ago, the whole car could probably use it. But in this case, like for Fishy, right? Like Fishy was asking about his ceramic coating. You know, Fishy, if you get to this point and you wash your car and you wash it with graphene shampoo and it starts reacting with the suds coming back like this, you can just dry it and move on. You might want to boost it a little bit, and I'm going to talk about that here in a second. But that's really like the power of graphene shampoo, is removing that road film to reinstate the hydrophobic properties of your ceramic coating. So Rich. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Rich Stubbs. What's up, cousin Richie? Well, at least I know I have one other 49ers fan on here.
He said you need to come to Texas. I'll let you use the vehicle to demonstrate.
You know what? I would love that. I want to come hang out in Stubbsville, get some good food, and sing karaoke. And my aunt.
Kathleen?
Aunt Kathleen. Got the whole family on here. That's pretty cool. Yeah, everyone on here should tell my cousin Richie congratulations. He's a newly retired firefighter. And actually, my dad's a retired firefighter. And then my other cousin, who my Aunt Kathleen is her son, he's a current firefighter in California. So long list. I'm terrified of blood, so I couldn't do it. That's why I wash cars. But yeah, a lot of first responder veterans and current first responders in our family, which is really cool.
And your Aunt Boo?
My Aunt Boo. Yeah.
Where are we located?
Adams Polishes.
Where are we at right now?
Right now, we're just north of Denver, Colorado, like north of the city, about 15 minutes. This is our headquarters here, yeah. So this is like where we ship out all our orders and everything, do wholesale orders, work our GM stuff. You know, if you order from our website, it comes from this location. So,
Cool. And then what pressure washer are you using right now?
actually, the pressure washer I'm using right now is the Active 2.3 pressure washer. And I think they just released these, but the cool thing about this pressure washer is the reason why it's called the 2.3 is because it puts out 2.3 gallons per minute. So it's it's kind of like an ideal pressure washer for washing cars because there's a lot of water that comes out of it. Um, really good unit to have, you know, a little bit more premium unit. So it comes at a little bit more premium price, but really good product. And like one of the things when I take my hand off the trigger, it stops the pump, so it doesn't make a ton of noise all the time, you know, unlike some other pressure washers. But
and then one more before we move.
yeah,
Is just they asked, is it that the oil degreasing properties are that much better in graphene shampoo compared to say ultra foam? Would you say? Or?
yeah, definitely. Like the degreasing properties in graphene shampoo is better than any soap in our line. Whereas, so like each one of our car soaps has a very specific purpose to it. So standard car soap, you know, neutralizes the water, most cost effective, high lubrication, so doesn't cause a lot of damage when you use it, neutralizes the water so you don't get water spots, but just your great standard car soap right here as car shampoo. Mega Foam, great soap. I don't think has as much lubrication as car shampoo, but produces the most suds on your car. So oftentimes, like when I'm washing my car, I use this out of the foam cannon, and then I use this in my bucket. And the reason why I do this in the foam cannon only is because when I spray the foam on there, I want it to stick and stay there. So I maximize lubrication and you know, effectiveness for my wash. But I don't necessarily want to use it in my bucket because this doesn't dissipate as quickly as car shampoo. So if you look on the ground, there's like no buildup of suds. There's like a little bit here and there, but I want it to be more like that because if I go to rinse my car off and I've been using Mega Foam the whole time, there's going to be suds everywhere. And the power of the pressure washer is going to blow soap back onto my car, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want to be rinsing down here and soap blows up on it and I have to rinse it again. Then I go to rinse over here and then soap blows off, I have to rinse it again. I want to make sure that the soap dissipates and goes away as I'm using it. So that's why I use Mega Foam out of the foam cannon and then car shampoo in my bucket. Now, strip wash is something that you use before you detail a car. So if a car has sealant or wax on it, strip wash strips that off of there. But also it has an added power to it to remove salt from like driving in the winter. So oftentimes in winter, I use this soap out of the foam cannon only, and then I use the car shampoo in my bucket because my hand is sensitive to this product. Like if I use it in my bucket, I mean, I can't tell you how bad my hands burned after I use it. And that's not, I think that's more from the dye in this than it is from the actual soap. I just have, like I can't use Tide laundry soap because it makes my whole body itch anywhere that touches. So the strip wash is more for like deep cleaning salt residue and removing wax and sealant. So a lot of times you'd use this before you get into like a full detail.
Right.
Now,
real quick while we're on that though, is that going to take off?
The strip wash will not remove ceramic coating. So whether it's the spray coating or the little bottle, 60 ml bottles of graphene ceramic coating, this won't remove a ceramic coating. So if you have a ceramic coated vehicle, but you live in a winter region, if you get salt on your car, like in the Midwest or out here, it's magnesium chloride. I like to use strip wash during the winter to get that stuff off of my car. So, and oftentimes, you know, instead of road oil clogging up your ceramic coating, it might be road salt or magnesium chloride. So this oftentimes can almost act like a graphene shampoo to take off that salt and everything. And then, you know, Ultra Foam, which I don't have out here, that actually has some protective properties in it. It has a sealant, a polymer sealant inside of it. So Ultra Foam actually like produces quite a bit of suds, but also it will boost a car that has been sealed, whether that's with H2O Garden Gloss or our old Adams Polishes paint sealant. So the cool thing about Ultra Foam is after you use it, when you touch your car when it's dry, it feels super slick. Essentially, Ultra Foam is like the slick and slide version of our car soap. So if you're more on like the sealant side of things, like you're not going to ceramic coat your car, but you put H2O Garden Gloss or Slick and Slide on your car, Ultra Foam is the best soap for those products to support them. Okay, so and then graphene shampoo, of course, is like to help unclog a ceramic coated vehicle like we did here today. So just trying to keep the car a little bit wet so I don't get water spots. But now what I want to do is do a maintenance clay, all right? So I'm going to use the clay mitt, because the clay mitt and the fine grade clay that we offer are the two least aggressive when it comes to doing a clay process on your car. And I was talking about this before, like if I wanted, I could dry this whole car right now, take it inside, use the pink detail spray as my clay lube, and do a maintenance clay with the clay mitt with detail spray. But I like to do this process during the washing segment, because when I do it during the washing segment, I have to rinse the soap off the car again, because I'm going to use the graphene shampoo as my lubrication. And when I rinse it again, I'm going to get another indicator as to what boosting product I need to use after. So I'm going to do that right now. So I'll take the tip off, put this on here. I'm going to re-suds the car. And when it comes to doing a maintenance clay during the washing process, you don't need to lather on the soap. You just want a thin layer of suds on here. It makes the claying process more effective. So just like a quick, like if I see a little bit of the surface underneath, I'm fine with that. So, and also because I had hard water sitting on here, I want to neutralize the water as well. So I'm not only going to do the paint, I'm going to do everything else so I can eliminate the chance for water spotting happening. Okay, just like that. So not overdoing the suds, because I don't need to. And actually, I'm going to dump this solution out, because there's a product I'm going to feature for you guys for a ceramic coated vehicle that I'm going to need to use this foam can for. The tip I'm using is a 25-degree tip. So green is 25 degree, yellow is 15 degree, white is 40 degree, and red is 0 degree. So I pretty much only use the 25 degree or the 40 degree, which is the green and the white. I don't have the white tip with me, or else I'd be using it during the washing, because I like a bigger fan because I feel like it pushes more water off the car. I generally use the 25-degree tip for cleaning all-weather floor mats or wheels, because the smaller the fan, it's easier to focus in where I want it to go. So, but I don't have the white tip with me right now, so I'm running the 25-degree right now. So maintenance clay, your clay mitt. Stick your hand into the clay mitt, go to the soapy bucket that doesn't have a lot of the, and actually, you know what I'm going to do is, I need to generate a little bit more suds on this, in this bucket really quick. So just throw the tip on there. Put it right at the surface of the soapy water. And when you blast in there, it just generates more suds like that. Okay, so I want the lubrication because I need the clay mitt to glide on the surface. So all you do is, with just the weight of your hand, not too much pressure, and the soap that's on here, it will make the clay mitt glide, and you just go over the surface. So what I'm doing is removing bonded contamination. Now, bonded contamination is an assortment of many different things. Everything from iron contamination, so like rail dust from trains that sticks to your car, or brake dust that sticks to your car, even paint overspray. So, you know, if you have neighbors that are painting outdoor furniture or painting something in their garage, it flies out into the air and then it lands and sticks onto your car. In this case, probably the main thing that's bonded to the surface here is tree sap. And so bonded contamination essentially is a term for contamination on your car that you can't remove by washing. So during this process, essentially what I did by washing the car first is I removed any loose dirt and grime like sand or dust and things like that. And once I get that off of there, now I'm removing the bonding contamination by doing the clay mitt. And the thing about bonding contamination on a ceramic coated vehicle, so your ceramic coating is not void from getting paint overspray on it, okay? It's only hydrophobic. And so what happens is that paint overspray or tree sap or maybe road tar lands on the surface of your ceramic coating and it sticks to it, bonds itself to it. Now your ceramic coating does make doing this process a lot easier, but the thing about the bonding contamination is it's not hydrophobic. It's sitting on top of the ceramic coating. It's not coated over it. And so by removing the bonding contamination, it brings back, now you just have the surface of the ceramic coating on it, so your hydrophobic properties start to come back even more so. And you don't, in this process, you want to do the clay mitt on both the painted surfaces and your outside mirrors, your PPF, so like clear bra, and your painted surfaces and glass. Like, I don't know if I mentioned glass, but
while we're on the topic of that, Holy said it's about a gallon of H2O.
yeah.
A month before coating.
Okay.
Do they still use H2O garden gloss, or will that product, quote, clog with the coating?
You know what? Actually, the H2O garden gloss is actually a really great maintenance product for ceramic coatings. The H2O garden gloss was just a polymer sealant blend when they first released it, but they updated it after a few years to have silica in it, or SiO2. And the silica is what allows it to be it adheres to the ceramic coating. So it's actually a great maintenance product for your ceramic coated vehicle. So I'll talk about that in depth a little bit more here in just a minute when I get into using a boosting product. But who said they got that again? Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, do not send that back. You'll probably really like that product. And yeah, it's actually like a fan favorite amongst all of our customers, and for good reason, because it actually makes, the cool thing about H2O garden gloss is it combines drying your vehicle with adding protection to it, and in your case, adding like some boosting properties to it. So don't get rid of it. It's something that you'll end up using quite a bit. So I don't know, you guys probably can't hear it on the live, but like as I go over this, I can hear it almost sounds like I'm touching like sandpaper. And after I go over it like 3 times, then it goes smooth and then I can't hear it anymore. So I know that I'm removing the bonding contamination that's on the surface. And actually I need to, I don't have it. We'll just go this way. If you own a truck, SUV, RV, any of that, these Adam step stools, it's like one of the best products because you can kind of walk across it. It makes it super effective to get on taller surfaces of the vehicle. Juice? Say, what did they say?
If my vehicle is already ceramic coated, will graphene detail spray bring it back or boost it after a wash? So that's what we're gonna...
Yeah, somebody asked if graphene detail spray will boost the current ceramic coated vehicle and bring it back type of thing. The answer is 1,000% yes, and that's actually a portion I'm going to get into here in just a second. So, okay, so actually, the most important place you need to clay is the rear portion of your vehicle because it gets the most contamination out of everything on your car. So, and I can hear it. See if you guys can hear this. So it kind of, you can hear it almost like, it's like gritty and then it goes smooth. And you can feel it too, like the clay mint almost starts to glide a little bit easier on the surface after you've gone over it a couple times.
What was you was mentioning to me about the vinyl, or if you have
Oh yeah.
on it and making sure not to run right up against that?
Yeah, so
Because that's how I handle that, and it's like now I feel like I need to get under there, and then I'm just peeling away my vinyl and
yep.
or whatever.
So that's something I talked about in the previous video that we were shooting on this car earlier, which is the same topic, but just more in like an edited version. Not meaning no cussing, like hip hop, but edited version meaning like we shot it on a real camera and we're gonna edit it together to make it a little bit easier to digest. But on this car, it has these vinyl strips, gloss black vinyl strips that end right here. So when I'm claying, whether it's with the clay mitt or the standard clay bar, I'd say this is more important when you're using like the fine grade clay or medium. I don't want to go over the crease. So the crease is here and then this is the painted side. So I don't want to go in this direction over it because the clay residue will actually get stuck inside of here and then you have to get that out. So when you have a crease like this, you go with it like this. So I'm not going to go back over it. I'm just going to go over it like this. Okay, and on this car is actually clear bra right here. Okay, so I'm going to go this way over it and not back the other way and put the clay residue into the crease of the clear bra. Okay, that's actually like really important because the one thing, I don't know if you guys have clear bra in your car, this actually is a good example, but if I go back this way and clay gets into this surface, you can see a very clear line of where the clear bra ends and the paint begins. So going this way ensures that it's essentially like an invisible line across the surface, so you never notice that even the car has clear bra on it. So there you go, maintenance clay is done. So now what we can do is start rinsing the car off. And essentially what I want to do now, and this is, so remember the whole purpose of this is to understand what your ceramic coating needs. So we rinsed it first, it was very flat on the surface. So I knew that we needed to do graphene shampoo instead of your standard car soap. The water beading effect started to come back, but on certain areas like the hood, it had bonded contamination on it, so it was still pretty flat on the hood because the water was reacting to the bonded contamination, not the ceramic coating. So I would imagine that this section that we started with, the water beading will be even more pronounced because I've removed anything that's stuck to the top of it, okay? So, but now in this portion, when you rinse it again, there's gonna be another indicator of what your ceramic coating needs. And so if I rinse this right now after doing a maintenance clay on this and the water beading is perfect, exactly where I want it, it's exactly how the ceramic coating is supposed to perform, I'm done. I dry the car, I move on with my day. Now, if I rinse this and it's still somewhat flat, like it's still sheeting water and coming off, like I can tell the ceramic coating's there, but it's not performing like I want it to, then we need to get into the boosting section of ceramic coating maintenance. So right now I'm going to rinse this section. We'll see what this car needs. So let's see what happens when I do this, okay? That is like exactly how you want it. What do you think? Good or not good enough? It's my dad's car, so.
Not good enough.
Not good enough? I like it. Okay, so why would you say it's not good enough?
Well, from comparing, from your other video,
Yeah.
you can tell the difference with the boost on.
So I think like kind of what my dad's saying is why it's not good enough is because the water, there's still a lot of water on here after I've rinsed this off. Okay, so even though it's beating really good, the surface tension is still pretty high. Like meaning that like the coating is still like grabbing onto this. And I imagine what's happening is, if you think about a ceramic coating, when you put it on the car, as it cures into almost like a bed of nails. I'd say like under a microscope, it probably looks more like the Rocky Mountains. There's a lot of like sharp points with like skinny valleys.
It's like a bolt.
What?
It's like a bolt, like bolt threads.
Like bolt threads, yeah, kind of like that. And essentially what that means is that the water molecules can't adhere to the top point, and they can't adhere into the middle of that peak and valley, okay? But what happens with ceramic coating is, as it starts to be abraded, those top points they almost start to look like, like plateaus kind of, or what would you call that? Like a plateau. So it doesn't have this like peak, it's more like flat like this. So now the water has something to grab onto, even though it is a ceramic coating. And so when it starts to do that like this, where yes, it's beating water really good, but like the water is still sticking to the surface, you want to boost the hydrophobic properties of this. So now we're going to get in, I'm going to rinse, I'll just do section by section. So I'll rinse this off. And because somebody asked about it, I'm going to do the graphene detail spray product on this right now. So let me get a fresh towel. And I have an Ultra Plus drying towel. What I want to do is just get the water off of here really quick. Now the reason why I'm not rinsing the rest of the car is because I don't want hard water sitting on developing hard water spots. So in the case of this video, I'm just going to do I'll do section by section, because I want you to see me using graphene detail spray here. I'll do graphene boost here, and then I'm actually going to use a non-graphene product back here so you can see how that works. So I just want to get the water not like perfectly off the car. I just want most of it off of here. So just get a little bit of the water off here, just dry enough, just like that. Okay, so that door is dry now, so I'll set this aside. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use graphene detail spray. So you can see how, and I like to use it with borderless gray or single soft. I don't really care, just anything that's a plush towel like this, okay? Now, graphene detail spray isn't as concentrated as graphene boost, so I can use it kind of in a bigger area. So when I use this, a nice thin mist of it, but I'll do this whole door right now. So nice mist like so. Okay, and then I just take my towel. Always start wiping off your glass first. It always makes sure that you don't get streaks when you wipe off the glass first. And then I can move on to the rest of the car. Now the cool thing about graphene detail spray is it has the shine enhancement properties that regular pink detail spray has, but it has the boosting properties that the graphene has. Okay, so that's how easy graphene detail spray is used. It's just a simple spray it on and wipe it off. And I did it in the direct sunlight. So if you are doing it in the direct sunlight, I would make sure to keep the area that you're working in reasonable. So like one door at a time. Okay, so graphene detail spray on this door right here. We're done with that. That would be really easy for me to, let's say that I ended up rinsing the whole car and pulled it inside, dried everything, then I could just go through and spray and wipe down the whole car with graphene detail spray. So done with that, okay? Now before I show you the hydrophobic properties that we boosted with it, I'm gonna rinse the front door now and use graphene boost. So we'll be able to see the hydrophobic properties of this as well after doing the maintenance clay. So again, hydrophobics are there, but they're not as pronounced as I want them to be. The water's still kind of hanging out on the surface. So go like this. All right, now we're gonna dry this off really quick.
Wouldn't the sun be a variable for mishaps, or did you already answer
The sun can be a variable for mishaps, but you know, I think like the sun is only a factor if you're trying to do too big of a portion at once. So like I was saying, I just talked about graphene detail spray here, but I did like the whole door in the direct sunlight, and I'm fine with that because the concentration level of the protection or the boosting agent in it isn't overly concentrated. But I'm about to get into the ceramic boost right now, and the ceramic boost has 10 times the concentration level that graphene detail spray has. So when I get into doing the graphene boost, this product right here, on this section, I don't want to do this whole door because then I risk the chance of streaking with this product. So what I like to do with graphene boost is I work in smaller sections. So what I'm going to do is do this top window portion. Once I'm done with that, then I'll do half of this front door, and then I'll do the other half, and then I'll be done. So just being a little bit more thoughtful on how you're using the product when you're in direct sunlight is something you have to think about. So graphene boost, we work in a smaller section. So I'm just going to spray, you know, and with these products, less is more. So I'll spray that portion. And again, like doing the glass first is ideal because then you don't get streaks when you use it. So just do this top portion first, like so. And then once I've done that, now I'll do this half of the door. So using a smaller section, wipe it off immediately.
What about rinsing?
I'm going to talk about that next.
He's gonna talk about that next, Anton.
Oh, Anton's on here. Anton, did you get your clubs? I'm just curious. And if you did, please send me an email with a picture because I'll nerd out on them.
Someone says, don't think applying detail or ceramic spray in direct sunlight is a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on. I have a lot of experience doing it, and Adams Polishes does as well because a lot of these processes we have to do on the spot, you know, at car shows. So this doesn't really scare me that much. It doesn't, and like I was just saying, like graphene detail spray on this side, I did a bigger section because it's not as concentrated as the graphene boost. So I'm able to work in a larger section with the graphene detail spray versus the boost. I segmented it into 3 portions. So I did this top half of the door, then I did this front half of the door, and then I did the back half of the door. So by sectioning it off and working in smaller section, it doesn't allow the product to start drying on the surface, and that's why you get streaks. So think of it like this, like you spray the product on, you wait for a minute, the water that is the vehicle agent inside of the boost evaporates into the air, and then the reduced graphene oxide and silica stay on the surface. And as it starts to dry, that's what makes it hard to wipe off. That's what makes it streaky. But if I work in smaller sections, it doesn't allow the water to evaporate in the air as fast, and now I can use it to wipe it off and keep it not streaky. So I just did the boost on the front half, and it's like there's 0 streaks whatsoever, you know, and especially with the graphene detail spray on the back here, there's definitely no streaks on here. So yeah, I mean, I think it's fine to avoid the direct sunlight, but with our experience in using these products, it's completely fine to use in the direct sunlight. You just have to be very thoughtful about it. So now on the back section, I want to show you a non-graphene boosting product that you can use, which is the rinse aid. So with the rinse aid, I want to use it out of my foam cannon. So I dumped all the soapy water out. Now I'm going to fill this up with water like this, and I'll actually I want it to be a little bit more. There we go. So take your rinse aid, and I have this at about, I don't know, 32, 33. It's this line right here. I want to fill it up. Actually, there's a little too much water in there. So I want to fill it up almost to the 35. So I'm not really gonna, I'll put about that much in there. So I probably used about 2.5 ounces. So we'll put the top of the foam cannon on here. Shake this up, make sure this is turned all the way to full power. And then I need to rinse off the soap that's on the back, and then I'll use the I'm going to use the rinse aid on the back. And so the way you use rinse aid is we dilute it into the foam cannon. Okay, we're going to rinse off the soap on the back. We'll put the rinse aid on even when it's wet, let it sit for 10 to 15 seconds, rinse it off with our pressure washer, and you'll see the enhancement of hydrophobic properties on the back. And then what I'm going to do is, after I rinse it all off and you see how rinse aid reacts, then we'll start making our way forward so you can see the water behavior of both graphene detail spray and graphene boost. So let's rinse off the soap on the back now. So hydrophobic properties are pretty good, but now I take the tip off and we put the rinse aid in the foam cannon on here. And what's that? Yeah, the rinse aid is really a cool product. Okay, so rinse aid goes on, and now we just wait. I'm putting the pressure washer tip back on, but I'm gonna wait about 10 more seconds. If you wait too long, it's kind of the effect you get with boost, where like the water from the foam cannon comes out of it, and then the protective properties stay on, and then it gets kind of streaky. So 10 to 15 seconds I think is more than enough. So just maybe 5 more seconds. So now when I hit this, the water behavior should be pretty, yeah. So the hydrophobic properties are a little bit more pronounced now. Like you can see as I rinse this off, the tightness of the water beads, like the contact angle is enhanced. And when the contact angle is enhanced of the water bead, not as much water stays on the car. It starts to fall off of the car, okay? But so it's pretty good. Like rinse aid for me is a really easy process to help boost a ceramic coated vehicle. Because listen, when you do it out of the foam cannon, you essentially rinse off half your car, hit it with the foam cannon with rinse aid in it, rinse it off, and then do the other side, and then you just dry the car and you're done, you know? So that's a really good product right there. But the thing for me is I can still see there's like a lot of water on here still. So we did rinse aid there, so you can really see the hydrophobic properties of the ceramic coating are like, they're standing strong, they're working really good. But now I did graphene detail spray on this rear door. So I want you to see how it reacts to that. So spray this on here. And the graphene detail spray is similar, but I think it's even a little bit more pronounced. So if you get even closer, Kai, you can see like how tight the water beads are. But there's still a little bit of surface tension left on here. That's why there's still so much water on here. So graphene detail spray is a really great boosting agent because the water behavior is so good, right? Now let's check out the boost on this side. So here's graphene boost. Now graphene boost has really tight water beads, but the surface tension is way less. So if you look at graphene detail spray, you can see how much mist and water beads are still on here versus when you come over here, this is completely dry right here. So in the instance of having the best, most effective boosting agent, Graphene Boost is by far, like, not even a question, the best product to boost your ceramic coated vehicle. And that's because the reduced graphene oxide and silica content is 10 times higher than the graphene detail spray. And because it has the graphene properties in it, it's performing better than the rinse aid. So in this case, you know, I would just say this: out of all three of these options, there's not a bad option. Like, it just kind of depends on like how much time you have to do this process. Graphene Boost is going to take the most time, because to avoid from getting streakiness happening, you need to work in smaller sections. So it's just going to take you a little bit of extra time to do that. Okay, but because the more, it's kind of like this, it's like this weird thing, it's kind of in life. The more effort you put into it, the more effective it's going to be, right? Graphene Boost is a perfect example of that. Now, if you want to do graphene detail spray, you might just need to do it more often, but it's going to be a very easy process because it's just as simple as spray and wipe it and get it off, right? Rinse aid is even that much easier because you use it, you can cover more area with the foam cannon. It makes it very easy to use, and then you just dry it and you're done. So you kind of have to pick what process you want to do, and it's sort of like, how effective do you want it to be versus how easy do you want it to be? It's kind of like it's a scale in which way you want to go. So I think for me, well, granted my dad doesn't have to do the work, but Graphene Boost is really what the ceramic coating wants. This is really the hydrophobic properties that you want out of your ceramic coating, you know? So it's really just, the water behavior is like very pronounced, and there's just not a lot of water is going to stick to that surface, which what that means for my dad is cleaning his car is going to be that much easier. So doing a you know, ceramic coating maintenance isn't as simple as just like doing one thing, or, you know, it's like your ceramic coating is going to tell you what it needs, and that's what we talked about in this video. It's, you know, first things first, when we sprayed this car down, this door was completely flat with water. I mean, there was no water beading happening whatsoever. So I knew that there's probably road film on here. So we did graphene shampoo to remove that road film. Then we kept doing it, and the water beading was still kind of underwhelming, I guess you could say. So I was like, you know, then there's probably bonded contamination on there. So you do a maintenance clay, and I used the clay mitt with the graphene shampoo as the lubrication. Then, you know, the water beading was still pretty good, but there was still a lot of surface tension, meaning like the water was still hanging out on the surface, even though it was beading up. And so doing the Graphene Boost now reduces the surface tension. So now there's less water on the car, which means cleaning my car the next time is that much easier, and drying it is even that much easier, because if there's less water in the car, it doesn't load your towel up as fast, and then you can dry your whole car without any streaks or any of that. So it's kind of like the way that we did this video today. And just remember, here in the next, you know, week or so, or couple weeks, you'll see more of a professionally put together version of this process we talked about. So, you know, it'll be a little bit more easy to probably follow along. But if you have a ceramic coating, you know, there isn't one answer for me to give you of what the maintenance is of that, right? You need to really understand how your ceramic coating is speaking to you. It's kind of saying like, hey man, like I need a little bit better soap today because I have a bunch of oil on my surface, you know? Okay, well, in that case, graphene shampoo is the exact shampoo that you need to use. And then you do that and you're like, hey, there's still like some stuff stuck on me. There's some paint overspray, some tree sap. Okay, well, the only way to remove that is by claying it. So you do a maintenance clay on it. And then it's like, hey, you know, thanks for claying me, but I'm still a little tired. I'm not really energized to give those water beads that you need. Okay, well, let's boost you up a little bit by using Graphene Boost, and now the water behaviors, now your ceramic coating's like, oh, I feel so much better. This is like exactly how I want to be performing, you know? So, you know, it sounds kind of weird, but and spiritual, but your ceramic coating's talking to you all the time, telling you what it needs. But anyways, I hope today was helpful. You know, I think instead of me just saying, hey, you need to do all this stuff, which is the easy way out, I want you to understand what your car needs. So kind of a little bit more interesting topic today. And, you know, thanks to my dad for bringing the car, because it was like the perfect example. I mean, it's exactly what how ceramic coatings perform. And listen, do not believe the hype from professional detailers that say, hey, let me put a ceramic coating on your car because you never have to touch it again. With great ceramic coatings come great responsibility. Like, you still need to take care of it consistently. And the more you care for it and the more you boost it and treat it, the better it's going to perform. So, you know, I hope today was helpful. And remember, every Wednesday, 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, we do live videos just like this to help answer your questions. And, you know, if there's topics that you want to see specifically, put them in the comments after the fact, because these videos get posted to YouTube. So we're always taking suggestions, and we always want to make sure that we're answering the questions that you guys have. So thank you guys for watching today. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you next Wednesday, 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time.